this thing's gonna be seized on there.
I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. You know, just saying. It's kind of sketchy. Oh, the chain, I don't like where that chain's at, but it's going. Hopefully the bumper survives. Don't stop! No! God! Up you go. It smells like old gas, but like, that's not the worst smelling gas I've ever smelt. Got a dinger. Heard fuel 114,034. I could tell it was low mile. You poor van. I heard the fuel pump go off. It's got a quarter tank of gas in it. Do you think this thing will crank over? Maybe not. Oh. Cutting the belt. I'm gonna go cut the belt. Will, this 2000 Chrysler Grand Voyager with only 114,000 miles run after 8 years. And it fires right up. And it's so quiet. It's so quiet because nothing's spinning. It just fired right up. You poor thing. Listen, it doesn't even tick. Why does that sound so good? What? There's no shot. It just went, and it's alive. Told you I'd be out here before dark this time. Looks a little nicer in the day, huh? You know, and not buried in that backyard. So, why don't we take our first really close look at this thing and see just how bad it is and how good some of it is, I think. I've definitely seen a little bit of it. I tried to kind of ignore things and not look too hard. That way we're kind of looking at it at the same time here. So, we're looking at a kind of like a tan color, like a faded yellow. I'm going to call it tan. A tan 2000 Chrysler Grand Voyager SE from Elk River Ford, Dodge, and Jeep. It is last plated with tabs expiring in October of 2017. The hatch, I don't see any dents. The paint I lied. Dent. Okay, I see one dent. The hatch, otherwise, good shape. The paint seems okay. However, we do have some unfortunate lip rust there. It's got a tow package with the, what is this, like a 1.25" hitch on it. You know, a little, it's a Kurt towing hitch. So that's kind of cool. It's got the little hooks here. This is actually what we used to drag it out with. That was convenient, actually. That was really nice. We come around to the driver's side here, and we've got some pretty nasty wheel arch rot here. Like, it's like all the way out here. Like, some of this is pretty advanced here. It's good up here by the gas cap, which is nice, though. That makes it easier to fix, I think. It is an E85 vehicle. We have the kind of middle black colored molding. This is a long wheelbase van, as you can see. The driver rear slider is weirdly the not rusted out door. Like, that door is like, driver door is rotten right there. That'll fall off. We come around the fender. She's pretty crusty. The bottom of it, not so bad. It's rusted out in the middle where that trim is, so it probably started rusting around the screw holes. The rocker panel is all present, but like I said, I think it is just going to disintegrate when a guy touches it. We got some, looks like clear coat peel in here. I think that's clear coat peel. I can't tell with all the moss on it. She's got a pretty nasty ding here on the driver fender. We come around the front. Instead of the Plymouth emblem, we have a Chrysler emblem. Remind me, we were looking at this. This must have been like that. I didn't notice that before. That's too bad that it's cracked. The plate has taken an unfortunate dent from that ball hitch. Thanks, Dad. It's got this weird looking foam plasticky thing that was definitely higher up on here, and it looks like it like sun melted and like fell down. That'll come off. We'll get rid of that. The passenger mirror is a little droopy. Passenger side door, cooked. The passenger side rear slider, not so good. This fender, better down here, worse up here. Got a big fat dent right there and like crease to the point where it broke the metal. That's nice. So I'm betting you this got hit here. This headlight's probably been replaced if I had to wager a guess. Because there's no way you like hit this and like didn't destroy that, but I don't know, I guess. You never know. I wasn't there for it. We've got one tire that won't hold air. That's the one tire that I've added air to when it was parked. And that's the only one that was flat. Clearly it is flat again. This rear quarter is not as bad as the driver's side, but also not good. All the glass is intact. It's got, you know, tinted glass, factory tinted glass. How does it look underneath? A little crunchy, but like, meh. That doesn't concern me too much. This looks okay. It's got no spare tire under it. That is probably seized. It hasn't had a spare tire under it for a while, judging how corroded that is, because it was exposed. It looks like the original exhaust is still on the vehicle, and it didn't sound bad, so the original exhaust is still good. Those shocks are really rotten, so shocks are bad. It's got all original brake lines on it. I managed to keep my strap away from the brake lines, so they're still holding, in theory. It looks like it's got rear ABS on it. That's cool. Leaf spring bushings, they look decent. I don't see anything wrong with them. How's it look up under here? Fuel tank, we're missing a fuel tank strap. That's good to know. That looks like it's been missing for a little while. So how's the front one look? I might add fuel tank straps to the shopping list there. It looks like there's something packed up above the fuel tank. You see that? I don't know if it's a nest or what, but there's stuff up there. So good to know that we'll have to drop that and fix that. Up here, what are we looking like? This rail's looking a little crunchy right there, but it's, you know, it's there still, but that's kind of crunchy looking. But up here, looks okay. Looks like we bent it a little bit, jacking on it right there. That's the only spot I could get my jack in, you know, where it was buried in the ground, but that's okay. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. Let's take a look over here on the driver's side, or passenger side, my bad. Passenger side looks a little better, actually. The rocker panel looks a lot nicer. But, like, you know, it's still bad. There's the rear AC lines and everything. Very good. So, I think that kind of... I guess we didn't look at the hood. There's a severe rust hole that's rotted through right here. That's been like that a long time because the moss is all over it. These look like fresh scratch marks, probably from the cats around here. They've definitely come and inspected. Anyway, I think that kind of shows the exterior of the vehicle. She's you know, it's perfect. You know, just a tiny little bit of surface rust on the bottom of the rocker where you won't see it. Just add a little touch-up paint, it'll be good to go. Otherwise, you know, it's clean. There's no rust on it. Hasn't seen winter, that's for sure. I don't know. Do we look at the tires quick? I always gotta look at the tires. From what I could tell, the guy that I bought these from was a guy that would run the tires. Age didn't matter as long as there was tread. So I'm expecting to see some extremely old tires. I'm looking DOT up here. What does that mean? What does that mean? That's not a 4-digit code, unless the DOT's on the back, but I'm thinking that's some kind of pre-2000 DOT code. It is an old BF Goodrich radial TA. So it's a 215/65 R15. We might have to look at the back of that to see, but it's dry rotted as heck. But it is, in fact, holding air. There is some tread on it, but like not very much, to be honest with you. How about this one? What are you? Probably not matching. It doesn't look like it. This one's got plenty of tread on it. This is a 215/65 R15 from January of 2006. And it is flat. What is it? It is an Eldorado. Whatever that is. Now what do we got over here? Does this match anything we have? No, it is a Yokohama Avid T4 from DOT code is definitely on the back, but we should be able to see this one. Maybe, perhaps. Okay, you guys go in. Battery too low to use flash. I did not know my phone was dead. Okay. I guess we will not find the DOT code, but unless I can see it. Can I see it? Oh, come on. Show me the DOT code. Oh, we might get lucky. 27 of 07. So, a year newer than the other back tire, but like, you know, still ancient. Good tread on it, though. And the front one. Ooh, the fronts do match. Another BF Goodrich radial TA. Can I see a DOT code? Any shot at a DOT code? Oh, look it. It's got the white lettering on the back. Why is that on the inside? DOT code's up there. I can almost read it. 22 of 07. So, we've got a bunch of 07s and an 06. Safe to say the passenger side's the same. We have, as you've seen, replaced this strut tower with a junkyard strut. You can see the pink writing kind of still on it from when the prior owner pulled it. Shall we take a look inside this van? I think so. Pop open the door there. It is from a 6 of 2000, so it's at the very, very end of the 3rd gen run. It's got, you know, this tan interior to match the tannish exterior. And we've got some new oil in there for it. We've got some power windows, power rear windows, power locks, power mirrors, cruise control, full instrument panel. If we get inside, we have an overhead console with a trip-in fuel computer. We've got the nice sun visors with the dimmable lights and the little extenders. We've got a clip of some sort destroying it. That's unfortunate. Anything up here? Ooh, actually, we have found a pair of shades. How nice. We'll put them back. Anything up here? Another pair of shades that I'm not going to put back. Oh, no. Okay, we got it. We're good. And we also have dual zone climate control with rear AC. So I guess tri-zone climate control. We have a basic cassette CHRYSLER stereo. It does, in fact, work as you saw previously. We have manual seats on both sides. There's a rear under glove box that I have not opened yet, actually. There is the previous plates. Those are the plates noted on the title from 2013, I believe. There's some paperwork up there I haven't looked at yet. The owner's manual is, in fact, up here. I have not looked at this either. Owner's manual's in okay-ish shape. I guess we can look in here, too. What's in here? I'm going to look quick just to make sure there's no personal identifying information. It doesn't look at it like it, but there's a work order in here. So there's probably information in here. We've got a warranty booklet as well. So let's look at this. You guys can look over here at this beautiful windshield. There's a signature on here that is not the current owner, or, well, I'm the current owner, not the prior owner. It is a different prior owner. This is a discount tire receipt. It is for a 2000 Plymouth Grand Voyager. Somebody misinput all-wheel drive. This is not an all-wheel drive. Did you guys see all-wheel drive back there? I didn't. October 12th of 2007. So that's about when the last tires were put on it. A brand new battery from Fridley, Minnesota in June of 08. And they paid, is there a receipt on here? Yes, there is. They paid $100 for a brand new battery. I paid $109 for that economy battery that's in it, I believe. So that's cool. The original window sticker. Hey, one of my vehicles actually has its window sticker still. That's kind of cool. I'll have to remember that's in here. Let's take a look what this bad boy cost. So we got the Value Plus sunscreen glass at -450. How nice. This thing costs $26,155. They call this Champagne Pearl, and the interior color is camel. So there you go. This is what we've got. Very nice. This was sold. Oh, that's actually really, really cool. This is sold to Olivia Chrysler Center in Olivia, Minnesota. That is where String Bean, my 1998 Dodge Grand Caravan SE, was bought new from. That's super cool. So these came from the same dealership. So here you go. Somebody was mentioning this in one of the videos where we were talking about fuel economy, and they said theirs could never get over 20, but they also said theirs was fully loaded after I kind of asked about it. So if you notice here, this thing is rated for 18 city, 25 highway. But if you look here, actual mileage will vary with driving conditions, habits, and vehicles conditions. Results reported the EPA indicated that the majority of vehicles with these estimates will achieve between 15 and 21 in the city and 21 to 29 on the highway. So they operate on kind of an average, and they submit these. And when they are tested, they're tested, single driver, all accessories off, in differing conditions. So sometimes your van, you get a good one. Sometimes you get one that's, not so good, I guess, is one way to put it. Anyway, that's all the information in the owner's manual, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to set this up on the dash without putting it back in because I'm being lazy and wasting your guys' time. Oh, how many of you guys stuck around for that? So there's actually 2 more pieces of paper that were here on the dash. I better look at these quick. One of these is a Mankato map, which is probably the last time this van was driven because he said the strut blew apart on him in Mankato. So that's kind of cool. See if we can date this thing. So this is a map of downtown Old Mankato, if you wanted to know, I guess. Convenient towing company on the darn thing. That's probably needed that. And then here's a full map. This is actually kind of cool. How outdated is this map? Can I tell? That's a roundabout now. That's a roundabout. That's a roundabout. They've been roundabouts for like 10 years now, so that tells you anything. What else is on here? Yeah. Very cool, anyway. So that's probably from the last time it was driven because it was told to me that it broke down in Mankato. So this is something about a lawnmower. So it looks like they were looking at a lawnmower. That's kind of cool. Okay. Anyway, moving on. We have garbage and things and stuff. I don't see anything important in there. What else we got? Anything in the glove box? I think we've been in here. No. Anything in the console down below? Yes, lots of stuff, actually. A phone book. I've seen a few of these phone books. There's a few in the back. Receipts. I'll have to go through some of these receipts if I find anything cool. Minnesota official highway map. This looks old as heck. You got a year on this thing? This thing looks old. Look at how old this thing is. Look at those. Is that like a Douglas or something right there? Isn't it? Because it's got the engine on top. Somebody, airplane people, tell me. That is an old map. Sold, I guess. Cub receipts, grocery receipts. Mankato Cub receipts. More receipts. And forks if you need them. Those are good, right? Anyway, moving on once again. Should we take a look in the back? Oh, there's something up there. Sorry, we're combing through all the junk. This says 215/65 R15, 215/70 R15, Chrysler Grand Voyager, 07 Dodge Grand Caravan, 2000. Oh, they were looking. I bet he was looking for tires, and he was going to see if the 2000 would match the 07. So he got a etching of the hub size, and then the differences in the tire sizes. And then Ford pickup, 235, 75, 15, 88. Oh, 88 Ford pickup. That's the pickup my dad bought. They were both being driven around the same time. So I guess he was shopping for tires. That's kind of neat. Oh, definitely a bunch of, you know, what do I want to say? I don't want to, like, how do I want to put this? These habits and the things I see are typical of a older gentleman, I would say. It's kind of old school. It's kind of neat to see. Anyway, we got some boots back here. We've got the seat that is unfortunately has mouse damage on it. This seat that is not damaged, although, you know, soaked and stained. There's my straps. There's another boot. There's a spare tire underneath. Not much else. Just a bunch of stuff. The headliner is down in this vehicle. But I think it'll clean up. It needs a good vacuuming, a good cleaning out, a good scrubbing. Carpet probably needs extracting. The seats need extracting. It needs really good scrubbing. Headliner needs buttoned up a little bit, I think. We got some pins for that. However, let's go take a look at the engine bay. See what we can really see. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And we're going to do that. And we're here. And you're going to hold the hood while I get the hold up. And bam, we have a Chrysler 3.3 liter V6 with a 4.1 TE 4-speed automatic transmission. We've got a rusty strut tower over there, and we have a really rusty strut tower right there. Other than that, there's nothing really special about it besides I put the serpentine belt down there after cutting it. The new one should be here tomorrow with a new alternator because that one is seized, as we have learned. Everything else seems to spin free. The AC, not really. The AC is kind of stuck, to be honest with you. But it moves. I think I can get it so it moves. You know, it'll rotate. That is going to make noise, I think. Actually, it's kind of freeing up now. Yeah, the AC is, and the clutch is stuck. So that AC won't kick on, which is probably why it's unplugged. So we may have had an issue here previously where the clutch froze up. Clearly the pulley is not in great shape, but at least it moves. Now the alternator does not move at all. That is a problem. We have a new one on order for it. See, nothing fancy about the trans computer here. Do we have power steering fluid? I never checked that. I think there's something down there, but not really. So we're definitely low on power steering fluid. Trans fluid looked good when I checked it while I was sitting. It still looks pretty okay. The oil was definitely full. It needed a change, but it's full. Brake fluid, there's some in there, I think. I think there's some in there. I want to top that off for sure. The brake pedal, when I pushed it, it felt like a clutch. So I don't know if that bodes very well for us, but I'd like to try get the brakes to work somewhat, even if they only work a little bit, enough to, I want to see if it'll drive off the trailer, to be honest with you. That would also make it easier for me if we can drive it off the trailer and kind of put it around, because this does in fact run. So I bought a new battery for it. I just turned in the Walmart one today, so that's all cool. The hood insulation is actually in really good shape. It's just dirty. As is this. This is completely clogged. That's a problem. Otherwise, The radiator had fluid in it. I believe it was just really low. We don't have a water pump, so that's, you know, good. But should be all right. The plug wires, I think these are original Mopar. Yep, they are original Mopar plug wires. Something tells me those plugs are probably the original plugs at the mileage this van is at, which, as you guys have seen, is only 114,000 miles. This has the good fuel rail, being a 2000 model, so that's very good. I mean, there isn't much else to see under here, but I think we'll hook this battery up. I never pressed the brake pedal while it was running. I want to see if the booster will kind of maybe help us. Otherwise, I should go get some fluid to add to it. So let's fire it up real quick here, if it'll still run. It ran last night. Let's take a look here. We have a quarter tank of 8-year-old fuel, and like I said, 114.34 miles. There is the oil light. As you can see, it goes off. So we've got oil pressure. I'd like to change that oil soon, but it looked okay. It looked like oil. I didn't see moisture anywhere. Nothing weird on the cap. Nothing in the rad. So it should be okay for now. Anyway, it's running. Obviously, we got no power steering, as you can see. I'm gonna go get some brake fluid, and we're gonna add to that, and we're gonna see what happens. And if I can get some form of maybe brakes, I would like to get this pulled out and maybe get this driven off the trailer. So I'll be right back, and we'll see what happens. I think the only other thing I can think of is that perhaps that is just stained and there isn't brake fluid in it. And I also think that at the very least here, we're gonna find the leak. So I guess we'll find out here. Then again, there is no brake light on, which there should be if this was low, but it does appear to be low. Yeah, the stained plastic, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, it's full now. Okay. So, I don't got all that much brake fluid left, so that's probably just enough to fill it up once more. I don't know, let's see what happens. We might have to bleed them, which, who knows how that works out. I don't hear it hitting the ground anywhere. I feel something happening. Oh, I hear fluid now. I hear it. Definitely thought I heard something hit the ground. Fluid where? Did I? I thought I heard it somewhere. I don't see any leaks. Nothing up front. Maybe I leave this off so it can like bleed back or gravity bleed or something. I don't see any leaking. Do I? Maybe down there, which would be where those stupid braided lines are. That would be a very unfortunate spot to have a leak, but also not surprising. I can't tell though, because I can't see up there and it hasn't dripped onto the ground yet. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. It's warming up. Pedal's starting to feel kind of pedally. Oh, I hear something. I smell brake fluid. Hey, look! Found it! Yeah, it's broke where I think it is. Yep, it's leaking out of the darn braided lines in the plastic connector down there. Darn you. All right, what do we do about that? Because that's such a pain in the butt to change. Anyway, that means we don't have brakes at all because it's leaking right out of the master. Or, you know, lines coming off the master. However, that means the master works. The brake booster seems to work, so that's good. Motor sounds pretty good, though. Starting to warm up again. So, I think we'll shut it off. So we've answered our question here on why the brakes don't work. And that is because the braided lines are rotten. Now, were they rotten when it was parked? I don't know. They're rotten now. I'll think about what I want to do. Obviously, we got to fix that at some point here. And we'll just get some copper line and we'll run it through there at some point. But I don't know if I'll do that today. But at least we know. We know what we got to do. We got to replace the alternator, new serpentine belt, and we need to fix those two brake lines to start with. I did top off the coolant. It didn't take very much. It's full now, so at least we don't have to worry about that. All right, get back on there. There we go. So, fun little thing here. Actually, we might have less work down the line than I thought. Somebody, because I was looking up under here, down at the prop valve, ABS box or whatever, somebody has run new front to rear brake lines. And they like did a proper job. So they left the fittings, the original lines going into there. They didn't mess with that. So they added those little guys. Those are, I think, the proper fittings, like the safe ones. And like it's like bent proper. Like it follows the factory lines and stuff. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. And it goes under the fuel tank. You're upside down now, I bet. But like it was run proper. Wow. So the front to rear lines have been done. Too bad they're steel lines and not like the nice ones. Anyway, I think these two right here are our lines. As you can see, they go up to the front. So I think we got to get those two fittings off. And then we got to kind of get them off up top. We'll pull them out of the way. I think we'll make the new fittings for down here. We'll put them on it and kind of, what do you want to do? Flare the ends on it for the bottom ones down here. And then we'll fish the line down and then we'll cut to fit up top and put new ends up top where I can get at them. Because coming down here and trying to put them on, it'd be a pain in the butt. So I think that's the plan. So I got to get those done. But up there is where they rot out up there. Unfortunately, it's just a bad design. Oh, that's a common third gen issue. So I think string bean I had to do one. But I also bought a new old stock factory line to put back in that one. I'm not doing that here. I'm putting the copper nickel lines in. Okay, so we've got the two lines out, as you can see down there. Fortunately, I think I'm going to be playing a game of whack-a-mole when it comes to this brake system. So we've got these lines out here. These spun off just nice. I think they're 13 mil heads. Good, so we can reuse those, no problem. Up here, you can see some rust forming. I do not believe they were leaking right there. However, at the bottom here, this is where this one is completely blown out right there. And this one, I do believe, is not far behind it and or was leaking down here. Now, this one right here has the fitting on the end. This one I snapped off. Unfortunately, I do have to replace the third line because, well, I went and I got this one off. This is the, if you're looking at it from right here, the ABS pump is right there. The top, closest back this way, is that one. That is for the front line on the master. So this one right here is this one right here. And he goes like top and then like back over here. And then directly below it is the line for here. I misjudged and thought it was this line when really it was this one. And I turned it and immediately snapped the head off. So I got to do also the line going to the front brake caliper. Anyway, the rear master line is on the top and directly forward, so behind this one. Kind of a pain to get at, but I got it out. Surely that's safe, right? I got the jack, so it's blocked up so it doesn't want to roll ever, which is nice. Got it up in the air, kind of. I mean, it's also strapped. We're going to get this tire off. Hopefully, we're going to break this brake line off down here. Get that out of the way. We should be able to fish one in there without really getting under it. Hopefully that caliper works, because these brakes are literally brand new. Like, those are mint. So, it's free right now. Surface feels okay. They should clean up. Well, we're certainly at no loss in breaking the end off this front left brake line, because it was already blown. So, yeah, that line was already shot. The end is still in here. It's spinning. It's coming off. Almost got it out here. That's a 7/16. So I'll have to really look at that front right up there, because 3 of the 4 lines were already blown up there. So I'll have to look at that one really, really closely. I'm sure it's not far behind. Hopefully it's fine, but it probably isn't. So that's all good to go. I've got the actual shape of this line too, so that'll be nice to kind of get a pre-bend and get in there. So it'll be nice. Safety tire engaged. I have noticed 2 more things about this vehicle. So, up here, charcoal box. You notice the line going to nowhere, and then the open fitting on the back of the charcoal box. So there's a little elbow that's supposed to be there, and well, it's not. So that's good. And I think I found the coolant leak. That line right there is the rear heater core line, and it sure as heck looks damp. So I bet you that bad boy is seeping coolant. So that needs addressed. That's also a very common spot for issues to occur, because they have a steel like jumper line going from the rubber to here and then into the stainless. Why didn't you just do that in stainless? Like, look how perfect that line is. And that one is completely rotten and leaking. So, you know. Anyway, here's what I was talking about, by the way. So that top one right there is the front port on the master. This bottom one below it is the front left line. Now, in the back there, see where that fitting is broke off there? That is the rear line on the master cylinder. Just so we're all clear, the top ones are front and rear. So if you're looking at it from here, here's the master. The top front is the rear on the master. This top one in the back closest to us is the front on the master. And then this bottom right one is the front left. Now, the 2 middle ones go to the rear, and then there's a bottom one up front there that will go to the front right. Hopefully that guy's fine, because he's the worst one to get at. A goose that's all by himself. No, there's 2 of them. 2 geese way over there, see him? Anyway, there's 2 of them. They're usually in a big group, but 2 of them there. That moon looks really neat tonight. I think that's because of the eclipse. It looks kind of funny looking. It's got a big halo around it. It looks cooler in person. But, yeah, here we go. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I'm going to drill those out, get them ready. I said I'm going to risk it on this line back here. I figure, at the very least, we can get the other lines patched, get the brakes working, and either it doesn't blow and we're good getting it off the trailer and it's okay. I looked at it, it doesn't look blown. It's rusty in the same spots these were blown at, location-wise on the vehicle. But if we can get the brakes working long enough to get it off the trailer, get it moved around, get it to somewhere where I can properly, block this thing up, get under the full vehicle, because it runs across the cradle, and then we can replace it if we need to. So, but these 3 lines are accessible. They're not too bad. And the rears look okay for now. So I think we'll be all right. I will probably be back tomorrow morning with new brake lines. So a little bit of progress on this poor old van. Okay. Got the brake lines in finally. We've been busy screwing around with that 88 F-150, which, if you see, runs. Runs like crap, but it runs. For some reason it was flipped to the rear tank that was bad before it was parked. Anyway, that gas is really old in there. We got it flipped to the front tank, and it seemed to work better. Both pumps work somehow. I don't understand that. So the tank switcher does work on that truck. But otherwise, on ours, we've got all the lines plumbed in. I think they're good. I did fill it with fluid here, and I've left the cap open. And I've got this one open here. I figure we'll pump the pedal a few times and try to get fluid to come out of there. At least we'll kind of bleed this a little bit. So I'll put you on the tripod. I'll have you look at that. We'll see if we can get fluid coming out of there, and hopefully not out of anywhere else. How do the bleeders look on this? They got caps on them. We could try to bleed up the brakes. We'll see if we get fluid there first. I got a new tripod, by the way. This is like a beefier. I got the other one at Walmart, but they also sell like this one now. Anyway, this one's a lot heavier duty. It's heavier duty. It was like 30 bucks. I only bought it. So my other tripod has been in rough shape for a while. It got knocked over and busted up one too many times, but it was still working. The only reason I bought this is because I literally do not know where it went. We used it, I guess, yeah, we used it last, because you guys should know about this by now. We used it last on that one, the Blue 91, but I put it away. I guess I misplaced it. I have no clue where it went. I looked everywhere. I cannot find it at all. So I bought this little thing, and it seems to work. It's what we've been using for this whole thing here. I bought it for this because it was like, oh, I need a tripod quick. So anyway, let's see if, where are you? We get brake fluid out of there. What I think the issue is, the ABS pump is airlocked. Oh, hey. Fluid. And lots of air. There it goes. Yeah, look at all the air bubbles coming out of it. That thing is super, super airlocked. But I've got fluid coming out here again, which means the other lines are all good. It's dripping now, so let's hook it up. In the never-ending game of whack-a-mole, it blew the front right brake line. Right where I was worried about it was going to blow, it blew. So I'm going to put the cap on this so it stops letting it gravity feed, hopefully. I don't have enough brake line for that. So you should be able to see where it's leaking, actually. Right there. So that's good. However, I think all my new fittings are looking okay. So yeah, there's going to be no original brake lines left except on the axle after I do that one. But you can't get at it. It's that bottom one right there, and I made it really hard to get at now because we just put all the other lines in it. Shoot. Okay, let me do some thinking. So we got updates. Answered a few questions too that we had the other day. So if you remember how the vent here for the charcoal box was off? Well, we know why it was off. Now also remember how we've got these, fittings here where they spliced the lines because they didn't want to take these out of the ABS pump. And then we were like, well, wait, where did they splice it in the rear? And these lines look so nicely bent, right? Well, it's because these are factory lines. I found the other splices. They're behind the charcoal box. So, whoever did those is the person who left that off the charcoal box. Anyway, so I did get that front right line fitting off of the ABS pump. You see it's way up there in the front. Now, to do that, you got to take every lower line off and out of the way. So we took our front left one off, he's hanging there, and then obviously we had to take those off, and that went about as well as you could figure. I got one to spin off by undoing the fitting first and then spinning it. It had enough room that it could do that. The other one I could not, and I snapped it off, and then here is the snapped off line for the front right. Now the rest of the line is still up there, and it's, runs back up there in like the, what do you want to call it, the cradle, it's cradle, I guess, or subframe. Anyway, I gotta fish him out. I gotta undo it from that side, which means I gotta get that tire up in the air too. I guess I could put this tire back on the ground. I don't think that is gonna, well, no, because I need to be able to get under here. I need to get my other jack and jack the other side up and put another jack stand in. I don't think it'll help me access the line any. I mean, you can see it. It's right there. Yeah, see him? He goes back there behind all that. Kind of in a crappy spot to get at. Can I get at him from up under here? I might be able to if I can get into here. But we got to get the front right tire off of it. We got to get the fitting broke loose from the hose up here, and then we'll work our way in. And then I'll get it off, I'll get it out, so then I know about what I need. I got to go get brake line, and I'm worried by the time I get back, we got a storm rolling in. It's going to get pretty bad, actually. I don't know if I'll have enough time. We'll see. I got to clean up my tools, make sure nothing is out here where it will get wet. I got to get this covered for sure. Yeah, there's the cover. Get the toolboxes out here, you know. But I got to go get a roll of copper line because I'm out. I ran out doing those lines. But then all of the front lines will be brand new all the way, you know, all of them. They'll be completely brand new. A little bit of surface rust here, you know. We'll just put that back up. We can weld that back in, right? Welcome to Minnesota, where it was 75 degrees yesterday. And now it is 31 or 2, I think. I think it's like 32 or 33. I have a brake line. I'm dumb, and I'm going to put it in. Yeah, this sucks. Also, I think the lens is kind of dirty, isn't it? Here. Pull like a J Smart and wipe the lens. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, so here's my plan. I've got this brake line. I've got the one fitting for the ABS module in. This is a single flare, by the way. Going into the ABS module, they were single flares. So we've got that hooked up. I got the original fitting drilled out with a 3/16 bit. We're going to slide this through all the way to the bend. I'm going to bend it while it's under the vehicle, and I got hit with snow. Pull the line through, and then we will cut it to fit. I know I made it a little too long, which is perfect. So we'll cut it to fit, and we will put a flare, a double flare on for this side. But that's the best way I can think of to do it. So we're just gonna kind of slide it in to about where it needs to be, and we're gonna, you know, fish it across. And I will get under here. I can get up under here and get at it and fish it through. So that'll be that. That's cool. So let's get that line on, and I will bring you back when we blow the rears. So you know, I got him in. So he's bent up here for the corner. Now I just got to get him bent going across and then cut the length. As you can see, I actually cut more than I figured I did, which is good. It's good. So that's how much extra we got right now. That's before I do all the little bends on the subframe here to make sure, you know, he's out of the way and stuff. But one of those, the extra we cut off, we should be able to use to make one of the patches. Going back there, maybe, we'll see. I'll keep it around, that's for sure. But nice, the hard part is done. Okay, I got him bent into place. I even got him clipped into little plastic brackets. There he is. He's all the way back there. He's up out of the way. He's not touching anything, I don't think. He's not going to rub anything. So I'll get my flare kit out here, get him cut off. We'll get a fitting put on that. And we should have all new front brake lines. Like every single line. So that's nice. Haven't had to do that line before. So that's great. All right. There is a double flare. Sometimes I say bubble flare and I'm wrong. That's a double flare. That's what you want. I got a new fitting. I actually used a new fitting, believe it or not. I figured this would be the opportunity to do it. But I was able to get in here with this beautiful Capri brake tool. I think this Junkyard Diggs used to recommend these for a while. I think he still does, but they're really like small. They're good mobile brake tool. And I mean, they're really easy. I've never had to redo one because of the flare. The only time I ever redo them with these is when I forget to put the darn fitting on, which happens once in a while, you know. If you've done enough of these, you know the pain you feel when you have a perfectly bent brake line and then you forget to put the fitting on it. So, you know, anyway, it fits in there perfectly. I was able to get at it just fine. So we've got ourselves a nice flare to put on our brake line. I'll get that all tightened up and continue working. I still got to do the two lines going to the back. We're gonna cut the lines back a little further, get rid of those compression fittings, and we're going to put a union in place. So we'll have double flares holding the whole thing together. It's more proper that way. So, but that was pretty well the hardest line to run on the vehicle. Even the front to back aren't too bad if you go around the gas tank. Hey, look, the sun. I mean, it's still windy as can be, but look, the sun is out for like half a second. So I just saved ourselves from playing another round of whack-a-mole. So I'm working on the last line up here. As you can see, I can get under here. I got everything. Hang on. All the new lines on here. And I'm working on back here and getting this one hooked up. I already got that one done. And I'm working on this one. But if you look here, I went to get this other line pulled out. And look what broke right in the fitting. Yeah, that would have been a problem as soon as we hit the pedal if we spliced it back there. So that's good. We fixed that problem. Now hopefully we don't do it like, you know, back at this next one right here, because that would be soul crushing. But cross that road when we get to it. So we'll have a second fitting right there just like that. And that is a union fitting with double flares on both sides. That is the proper way to do it. So, all right. The proper way to splice a line, I should say. All right, take a look at my beautiful craftsmanship going on here. It's actually not that bad. Oh. It's all shiny copper up there. Hopefully it don't leak anywhere. If this leaks, I swear I'm done. I'm done for the day. So, yeah, it's on there. We're looking okay. Now the copper looks like it's going to chafe where it's at right now. It might need tied up. There's a clamp under here, behind here, that's missing a bolt. They left it out, the last guys who were in here. So, but I'd have to take the charcoal box off to clamp that. I don't feel like doing that. Let's get some, if we can even open the hood the way this ice is. See if we can get some brake fluid in this thing. Oh, you son of a... Okay, well, we had a little bit leaking out of that fitting. I think I tightened it up. However, driver's side, we're good. I got fluid to come out. Look, when you look back there above the fuel tank, wow, who could have seen that coming? Why am I not surprised? Okay, brake line number 7 has been made. I still need to tighten it up, it looks like, but I think we got fluid going to it. It's run up there, you know, it's just there, but hopefully that works, and hopefully we don't need to make 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13. There are 5 more lines that could break. The other front to rear, the 2 going from the prop valve to the hoses, and the 2 lines on the axle. Everything else has been done. I pressed my luck, literally. I kind of had a pedal going, and all of a sudden I heard a psst, and then it went to the floor. I see another drip above the fuel tank. So we lost one of the lines going from the prop valve back here. You bastard. I'm gonna... Oh, I just... Yeah, so... Well... Here's the thing. I kind of got a pedal now, though. So, next problem. I think the front brake's locked on, because I do think that is working. Yeah, I don't got no more leaks up here. Both front brakes appear to be locked on, so hopefully those free up. I might have to pry the caliper with a screwdriver. The front brakes did engage. We did blow another rear line. It should not be a surprise. So, I gotta get up there. I gotta figure out which line it is. Disconnect it from here. Disconnect it from the prop valve. And then cheat a line through here, I think. Oh, we're so close. Oh, I gotta go in and warm up, though. It's cold out, guys. I've been in and out all day just taking breaks and coming back, but... Put the cap back on the reservoir so we don't bleed all the fluid out. This is fun, you know. If it was nice out, I'd be done by now because it wouldn't have taken me all that long. But, you know, we've made 7 new brake lines and we just blew number 8. Okay, unfortunately, this van has beaten me yet again. So, we actually blew 2 brake lines. We blew both of the lines going from the rear prop valve to the axle. So, just to make it clear, I did get all of the fittings out, but I want to make sure I film this so when I forget, I'm okay. So, these lines have 2 different size fittings on each end. So, like, one is big on, like, one over here is big, one is small, and then over here, one is big and one is small. Is looking at this right here, the front line here, like the closest to me with the big fitting, goes to the small fitting when looking at it this way in the back there. So the front outer line there goes to the far line there, meaning the inner line up front there on the prop valve, the smaller fitting, goes to the bigger fitting closest to the rear of the vehicle. I'm reiterating that just so I don't get anything mixed up. But it should be self-explanatory as long as we make sure we put the opposite fittings on both. So these bigger fittings I'm for sure going to have to drill out. I could replace the smaller fittings with new ones, but I'll probably just drill these out with a 3/16 line or a drill bit. Anyway, both lines came off in 2 pieces. So you know what that means? There's 3 original lines remaining in the vehicle. The rear half of the one going to the prop valve from front to rear, and then the 2 lines on the axle. So isn't that fun? But I'm done for the night. I'm gonna have these ready, and I'll probably drill these fittings out and then have them ready so I can make lines tomorrow morning. It'll be warmer tomorrow, hopefully less windy, but we'll see. Brake lines 8 and 9 are in. Thanks to this convenient access fuel tank top with the missing strap, we were able to tuck them up there. It's not great. I kind of pre-bent them based on the lines I had pulled out, and I got them close. Mostly just so I had the right length, but they're not right. But it doesn't matter as long as they're connected. Okay, believe it or not, I do not currently see any active drips. And after pumping it up, I do in fact have some sort of pedal. So we might, just might, be okay after replacing 9 of the 12 possible brake lines on this vehicle. Now, the front brakes seem to be locked on since yesterday. Now, is it a caliper? Is it a hose? Or are they just sticky? Which would be a caliper, I guess. But what I mean is the caliper stuck, or is it just a little sticky with, moving, would it free up? There's a good way to kind of try that. So, all we got to do here is pop a brake bleeder. Right now, I can't spin these. Now, if we crack the bleeder and a bunch of fluid comes out, and then the caliper moves, we have a bad hose. Now, if it doesn't, and we don't get a lot of pressure coming out, the hose is probably okay. The caliper's stuck in some fashion. So, let's see what happens. I think we got fluid dripping out, but it's not like rushing out, which I would like to say means we're not holding pressure in the caliper. So I do think our caliper's a little stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screwdriver in here. I'm going to try wiggle this and try to see if the caliper will loosen up and if fluid will come out this bleeder. In which case, it'll probably be okay if I can loosen it like that. If it doesn't, then we've probably got bad calipers, which is not surprising considering. So I'll see what I find out here. All right, I think we're okay. It wasn't really stuck, so I didn't even have to pry this apart. I just took this and did this, and now it moves. So, like I said, it's just a little rusty. So if we had a wheel on that and it was under its own power, it would have moved most likely just fine. So I think that our right front brake is okay, which is good. I just got to get this bleeder back on. Okay, so I pumped the brakes up, and I tried to spin the fronts. Both the fronts are locked on after pumping them up and putting a bar there, as you can see. So, however, the rears must have a lot of air in them, because I got nothing. Or the wheel cylinder seized, I guess it could be either. I'm gonna look at this brake bleeder down here, and we're gonna see if I can get a wrench on it. I did spray them last night, so I'll try it. Here, I'm using you because That's a 5/16 bleeder. No, we'll do... This would be a lot easier to bleed. The brakes need bled anyway. I'm not going to really bleed the fronts right now. What I want to do is I think it's time to get wheels back on this thing. Let's see if she'll drive off the trailer. We'll make sure the brakes work first before we completely commit, at least the fronts. But I think it's time to drive it off the trailer. Let's get it on the ground. Let's figure out if everything works before I try fight those bleeders. Especially if I got to have it up in the air anyway to do the fronts. If I do this one, I might as well do the other one, and I can't get a jack on the other side to do the other one the way it's sitting. That tire needs air. This will be easier to bleed the brakes while it's on the ground. It was definitely easier to do the lines while it was up on the trailer. It's up higher off the ground. But to bleed them, I'd rather have it on the ground proper. We're already sitting on, a jack stand and 2 jacks on a trailer. It's mint. So let's get her off the trailer. I think it's time. So we do have at least some front brakes, which is a lot better than it was. I'll bring you back when I got everything all rigged up, get the tires on it, got the truck hooked to it, got the trailer pulled out. I'll see you shortly. Okay, we got it pulled out here. Open space and less muddy space. Got the ramps up there. I got air in all 4 tires. And I got all the straps unhooked. It's in park. It's holding itself. Let's get a battery on it. Let's get it hot. Let's see if she'll fire up. And then hopefully it'll back up the trailer. I also lifted the trailer a little bit here, kind of level it out. We'll still probably have to shim the wheels based on how it is, but sometimes I've not had to. It depends where you unload it at. It's high, but we'll see. All right, battery's hot. Let's see if this 2000 Chrysler Grand Voyager is going to run. We know it will do that, and drive, and maybe stop after 8+ years. Who knows? Hopefully it even drives itself off its own trailer. Find out here. No. Not as happy today. Get the window down. Let go. There we go. Been a while. Window revival. Key is leave it up far enough you can pull it back up. Well, should we see if it goes into gear? Pump up the brakes. Oh yeah. Brakes kind of work. Go forward. Oh, we got a transmission. Alright, let's see if I can get it off this ramp. The trailer. Alright, we don't have power steering. I forgot about that part. Oh, we're going. I can't stop it. Yeah, I've got the foot to the floor. Alright, it worked out. Okay. need bled. I think we can figure that part out. Brakes need bled. Yeah, that was foothold to the floor. I bet you if I pumped it a little bit there, it might have worked, but I didn't want to let off because I had a little bit of slow me down. But luckily, the way it is, it slid off the trailer, no problem. It's easier going off because you got the muffler will kind of ride and then go over, whereas coming on, it catches it. So it's always easier unloading on this trailer, but that's just how it is. Look at that. She's running on her 4 paws, and she moves. Let's get this truck and trailer out of the way. Let's see if we can drive her out of here. Let her warm up a little bit here quick, but not too much because we've got no water pump or anything either. So, but we'll get it up, maybe get it in the driveway. Deserves an oil change for sure. Needs an alternator, so we'll get working on that. Yeah, she's sitting over there purring like a kitten. Drove right on out of here. Brakes do not work. They need bled really, really bad. So, all right, first improvement we made, we fixed the mirror. Replaced it with a brand new one. OEM, new old stock right there. Yep. That's a lot better than it was. That was probably the biggest eyesore on it was the hanging mirror. So, that from there looks perfect now. Next improvement. That is removed. How nice. Yep, looks like $1 million now. Well, we gotta get this thing turned around here. So I figure, let's see if we got more than first gear. And I'll take you guys along with me for its first test drive, if you want to call it that. We ain't going very far because we don't got an alternator or anything really. There, starts a little better now. I don't think I like the cold. Okay, well, here we go. Here goes nothing. Can't see, can't stop, can't steer. Surely this will go well. Oh, yeah, steering with one hand, no power steering. There's second gear. Good. Third. It's doing it. Can I stop? I can kind of slow if we pump the pedal a lot. There we go. Oh, we got 3 gears. So let's stop here. We're not going any farther than that. I don't got a battery light yet, but let's not push our luck. But hey, it's got a transmission, it's got an engine, got all the things we need to make a vehicle we can use and fix. Make sure I still got brakes here because I'm kind of backing onto an encroachment. I gotta be quick about dropping it into gear here. Actually, I got it to stop itself. Brakes are pumping up, actually. They're getting better. Okay, now we're gonna try to turn it around. Come on. Come on. So, the thing that's worse than no power steering is fighting a dead power steering rack. With one hand. Come on. Only steers when you move. Okay, we got it. Come on. Come on. All right, look at that. Oh, yeah. Nice. Everything seems to be working. And slow her down. Yeah, they're getting better, actually. They're probably self-bleeding a little bit as I use it. Remember, this thing's got ABS, and the ABS was dry. Come on, into the driveway. Sorry. You gotta fight this thing. Dog, I can't stop. You better get out of the way. I think we'll go ahead. We'll pull it up here. This is where we'll work. Okay. Okay. Oh, we made it. Nice. Look at that. All right, here's our new home while we do some maintenance on it. The old 91 Grand Caravan still sitting here. This tire needs some more air. I think she's gonna live. I think we'll pressure wash it today too, if we get time. We'll do the mechanicals first because it's only gonna be 40. Tomorrow's gonna be 60. So if nothing else, I'll get it pressure washed tomorrow after work. What I just found, I was kind of digging in the glove box to get the registration in it. Wholesale transmission and service, next service due. This is an oil change sticker with 95,025 miles, 217 of 11. So it has not had very many miles put on it in the last 15 years. Crazy. Look at that. All right, got the oil draining. I had to put the it was a half-inch wrench on this one. I had to hit it with a hammer to break it loose. But the oil filter, I spun by hand. Look at that. Is that like an old micro guard? I'll have to clean that off. I think it is. I think it's an old micro guard. Maybe. I can't tell. No, it's a Napa filter. It's an old red Napa filter. Yeah. It's 51085, so it's starting to drip. Tighten that back up. Get this oil changed real quick. It definitely needed changed. It was due, but it was good enough to get it started on, so no problems. All right, got the old oil out, got the new oil on, got the mileage written on the filter, and a sticker up in the window. 5 quarts oil in it. Let's see how she runs. Okay. Oh, this. Come on, key. The ignition is stuck. There it goes. Okay, watch that oil light. Go away. There it goes. Steers a little better up in the air. All right, let's let that run for a couple minutes with that new oil. She deserves it. That sounds so good. Man, that thing runs good. So, next job is going to be this alternator. So, the way this is going to go, I think, what we're going to want to do, I'm trying to remember if I can snake that out the front here without pulling the bracket apart. It might. Like, if we just pull this hose out of the way, we should be able to run around this this fuel line needs replaced, I'll tell you that much. But we might be able to sneak that out of there. I'll try it. I'll try and unbolt it first. But I think we at least got to get this bracket out of the way so we can get down there and get the connections off of it. But I'll get it off and I'll let you know how I did it. And then we can go from there. That motor sounds so good. Well, would you looky there? That is a seized alternator. This has been a long time since I've done a 3rd gen alternator. I don't even remember. It's been at least 5 years. But that you know, it's fun. I don't even know if I've done a 3rd gen. I'm thinking about it right now. Because eggplant doesn't count because we had the engine out. I think we reused that alternator. Green bean, I don't think needed one. And I'm trying to remember if string bean needed an alternator or not. If it did, it was, over 5 years ago. Anyway, the cool thing about these alternators, there's a couple things. They finally figured out, just put a plug on the alternator instead of all those little screw holes, where you break the studs off every time, or they spin inside the alternator. That's all been figured out, except the positive, which that's never an issue, really. And then the plug, that's nice. And then they've got the top bracket here that's removable, so you can get your paws down there to get at it. And then otherwise, what I did is I undo the top one, I had that whole bracket out, and then you just kind of start to loosen the bottom one and let the alternator pivot, or maybe you can help push it, pivot it all the way back. And then you can kind of get in there just barely with a wrench and you open end on the nut, because it's a nut and bolt at the bottom, and get the wrench on there, and you're able to spin that off. The hardest part I found here was getting my hand back behind it to hold the nut so I don't drop it. I think it's going to be harder once we get the alternator back in to hold the nut to start the bolt, because I got to kind of contort myself to get at it. I think that's the hardest part. Otherwise, you know, with a little bit of flexing on this poor fuel line that really needs replaced, we'll have to address this soon. The clamp is actually splitting from corrosion, so that'll get replaced. But get this out of the way. It has enough room. It does fit out of the top without having to pull everything apart, which is nice. So we'll get this out. I'll throw this in my core pile, which unfortunately has grown quite a bit. I have had a lot of bad alternators. I was thinking about this last night. Like 7 of the vans that I've, bought in the last 5 years have needed alternators, with 4 of them needing them in the last year. 5 if you say 12 months, I guess, right? Because Turnip needed it. Carry the 91 needed one. This blue 91 SE that I don't have a name for yet needed one. Beetroot needed one. This needs one. And then I've had a couple more. Gray van needed one when I bought it. Oh, I forgot Blue van needed an alternator. It's 10. Oh, geez. My 05 needed an alternator. Everything needs an alternator. It's great. So I got a pile of these because I always buy them on Rock Auto where they don't want a core charge for them. So I just have a pile of cores. Great. Ay. Okay, new alternator's in place. I did get that nut started down there. Now, if you don't have small arms and hands like me, I don't know if you'll be able to do it. So I kind of came over here where I can kind of flex my arm, and I was able to get in up over here with this nut in my 2 fingers here. And you gotta have good dexterity too. And just barely, with that bolt already fished through, get it to where it's on there and just kind of spin it so it starts. Maybe if you got any kids or something with small arms, have them do that. Yeah, it's one of those things. Or maybe if you had like a nice magnet and you fish it there and you hold it there while you spin it, you might be able to work it on that way too. A couple things to try, but I was able to get it with my hands. So it's on there. I'll get a wrench on that, tighten that down. I did get the connectors on over there on the alternator. We should be okay. You know what? Here. I don't want to be the guy that hides my mistakes either. When you're doing an alternator, make sure you unhook the battery. See, mine's unhooked now. Mine was not unhooked earlier when I put the alternator in. And I didn't run into the issue when I was taking it out. But when I went to put the alternator in, obviously it's hot. When I slid the alternator back in, that positive cable tapped the alternator for a second. And luckily it didn't stay on there and didn't weld itself to it or blow something, hopefully. But I was able to pull the negative off and we were okay. But don't do that. I forgot. That was my bad. So there's me admitting my mistakes. Now I'll feel better about it. And that way you guys know when that alternator doesn't work. I did fire the van back up after I fixed the issue and hooked it back up. And it seemed okay. So I think we survived there. It was just a quick, bzz. But hopefully I didn't fry something in the alternator. I don't think so. It should be okay. But we'll find out. Now you know not to do what I just did. I knew better too, and still did it. But whatever. It's in there. That's so much easier to do than a 1st or 2nd gen alternator. I tell you. 4th gen, they finally put it right up here. All right, alternator's all bolted back in. We have a belt on it. That was a bit of a pain in the butt. Every pulley seems okay except the AC pulley, and I managed to spray a little bit of PV under here and spin it and free it up a little better. The clutch is stuck. The pulley spins. It might be a little loud, but it's going to do our, it's going to work. So let's see. Now, 1, hopefully we have volts. 2, we have a water pump. I'll top this off and hopefully we get something circulated. Get this thing up to temp. Make sure it doesn't overheat or anything. Make sure we don't have any major leaks. So we'll find out, right? Hopefully we don't throw a belt, right? Ignition's a little sticky or something. That's where it kind of quit and then went back to it. So, got oil pressure, no battery light yet. It's running. Let's go see. I don't hear anything terrible. Actually, it sounds okay. Yeah, that pulley sounds fine. Not bad. Everything's spinning. So, I'll go get some antifreeze. Actually, do we have some in here? I don't know if I used everything that I had. No, I'll go get some antifreeze and stuff. We'll top off the radiator. We'll let it get up to temp, make sure everything circulates, thermostat opens up, etc., etc. Fill up this as well. Seems to be running okay. Got it topped off. I got a little bit left in that jug. I'm pretty well out of fluids. I've been going through and stealing from everything. So I gotta really stock up on fluids at some point here, fill everything back up so everything's got extra emergency fluids in it, but we're looking pretty good. Crank harmonic's a little wobbly, I'd say, but nothing too bad, I guess. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can now. That seems okay. It's a little wobbly. It might need a harmonic, but it'll be all right. Let's wait for that to get up to temp. How are we looking? Heat gauge is just starting to come up. Nice. Okay. So what now? We just did all the get it running work. How about we go ahead? I think we'll get ready to clean this thing out, you know what I mean? Get all the junk out of it, get it vacuumed. That way, if we take it down the road, you know, we won't blow everything around. So yeah, let's get it cleaned up. Actually, we need to bleed brakes too, don't we? I gotta do both of those, for sure. But we're looking pretty good here. Just let it keep running, that's for sure. Yeah, that motor sounds so good. I can't believe that. So we'll pop this off. There. Have him ready. Gotta bleed the fronts for sure. At least we get, you know, something that works. But I don't know if we'll get the bleeders off the rears. We'll try. I don't want to break them off though, you know. So then we're stranded. Nice. That door opens nice. I lubed all the doors too. I got one stuck roller on the other side, or I had. I shouldn't. Who knows? It might be freed up now. It's this one roller right here. No, he's still stuck. It's that bottom roller right there. But at least he's got oil to slide on right now. So, nice. This thing air out a little bit too. Definitely not gonna hurt. Then I gotta put this seat back here, this rear seat. I gotta put this on the junk pile. And it's too bad, here, I don't know if I showed you guys. He had this in storage and it was all bagged up and all done up nice. I can't get it open. But a mouse got in between and made a nest and ate the foam, which is very unfortunate. Let's get this Reese sticker on here. I kind of hate where that sticker's at. Full-size jack and everything's under there. Nice. What is this? It's like a trim or something, like a seal, like a door seal. I don't know what that's doing there. I'll just leave this out for now. Yeah, and there's the full-size spare. It's been used, that's for sure, but it's in it. Here's a nice garbage box right here. I actually haven't. Oh, there's a. What is this? It's a Victoria's Secret. It's a Victoria's Secret magazine. Nice. Holiday 1987 catalog. Here, I'll just, you know. I don't know. It's not that lewd. Everybody's fully clothed, but, you know. They're provocative, I would say. Well, that's fun. That's old. That is older than the van by like 12 years. Nice. Shingle. A sock. What is this? Proline Felpro gasket. Felpro gasket. I don't know. Has this had gaskets? This is probably for something else. You know, so that's the idea. Make sure we're not leaking anything. I'm worried about the cooler lines for the rear AC start leaking at some point here. I don't think they are yet, but there was one that definitely was wet. Got some oil burning off the valve covers now. How are we feeling here? Still cold. But I bet you we're actually getting warm now. Oh yeah. Thermostat should be opening soon if it hasn't. Yeah, look at the oil burn off the valve covers. Nice. Might be starting to get a little lukewarm. Look at that. Poor old thing. And based on that oil change sticker, it hasn't had 25,000 miles put on it in the last 15 years. So, it's been at 90 for a long time, or got up to slowly, you know. And now at 114, she's sat for the last 8 years, I suppose. It's running good, though. It sounds really good. It's too bad. And I bet you this thing was really clean when it was probably sold to the prior owner. And the prior owner I bought it from probably didn't drive it all that much, but I bet you when he did, he drove it in the winter. You know, that or like I said, a lot of this is probably moisture coming up from the ground where it was sitting. That definitely didn't help. Nice. Turn the fan on. Heater core works. I got hot air. Doesn't smell the greatest now, but it's warm. Probably all the mouse is melted inside. But it's blowing. Blend doors all seem to be working. Yep. Oh yeah. It's got heat. So that's all circulating. Yeah, look at the temp gauge went down. I bet you the thermostat opened as well as what we're doing. Oh yeah, look at that. She went down. Nice. Yeah, she's coming back to life all right. Well, it's been running here for half hour. I got most of the junk cleaned out of it. Actually, I got all of it cleaned out of it. All the floor mats and stuff out of it. Carpet's really nice under the floor mats. And then I was thinking about it. You know, temp gauge is looking good. Heat works. Power steering doesn't work. I bet it doesn't have power steering fluid in it. So, and that thermostat did open up and everything. It dropped down, so I filled it up. But I bet there's this junk in front of here. That's garbage. The power steering is empty, I bet. Oh yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it gurgling. Alright, so this is going to make noise, and hopefully the power steering pump works, and I haven't burned it out yet. And this trans fluid's been sitting in a window. It's really warm. Get in there. Yeah, drink up. Poor thing. Whoops. One thing I forgot to check. There it goes. That drink for a minute. Let's go see. Yeah, probably needed that. Oh yeah. There we go. Gotta bleed this. There we go. Which that's a little better. It's a lot better actually because it works. Oh, it drank all that. See if we can get it to bleed out. Okay, good. Everything seems to be working. Nice. Don't know where all that fluid went. We're not going to ask questions. Still got air in it, though. Tell by the way that it is. The way that it makes noise. To bleed them, you just do this back and forth. Work all the air out of them. She's been dry for a while. But it works. Get quiet. She's starting to steam everything off. She's getting up to temp real good. Boy, the fan's kicked on. Oh, that scared the heck out of me. I said she's getting up to temp, and I leaned down, all of a sudden, poof! A whole bunch of stuff flies out. Both fans just kicked on. That scared the heck out of me just now. Well, they're working. Yeah, blow all that crap out. Jeez. Temp looks good. Okay, well, those work. Oh, you don't know how much that just scared the heck out of me. Yeah, we're looking good down here. I don't see any major leaks. Nothing going on. Concerns me. There, blew all the stuff out of it. Power steering looks full, so we'll go ahead and we'll cap that off for now. I think we might know where the power steering's going. I've noticed that here we're getting a splash. I smell it. I think it's flinging power steering fluid. I don't know where it's coming from though. It's gotta be flinging out of that pump down there, huh? It's flinging it though, I can see it. That explains where all the power steering went. Here, let's put this like there. See if we can catch a leak. I don't think it's leaking very much, but it's definitely leaking some. I can see it. Yeah, you can see it dripping. So, I'm thinking we got a power steering pump in our future, and sooner than later, because I don't want it to like fling stuff everywhere here. But I think it's leaking. Dang it! Well, we got it all vacuumed out. What do you guys think? I think it vacuumed up pretty well. It needs a scrubbing. It needs a real good cleaning. Oh, there's that old Ford trying to run. That thing's got really, really bad gas in it. But it was running. Vacuumed up all right. Looks pretty good. I got the front floor mats in it. I'm going to leave all the back floor mats and the back seats out of it. But it looks pretty good. That's not too bad. I think it'll clean up okay. Uh-oh, something happened. But I think I'm going to go find some pins and I'm going to start... Oh, there it's going to go. Pinning up the headliner here. But all the windows open, by the way. Every window opened up, so that's nice. I think I lost the brake line game one more time. So I got the left rear bleeder to come off. Well, I snapped this bleeder off, but I'm looking here. And that hose looks damp right there, and it looks crusty. So what I think I got to do, this is the one drum I couldn't get off, is I think I got to beat this drum off, and I got to replace that wheel cylinder. I think I have a wheel cylinder. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to get the drum off, look at the cylinder, go look at the one I have. Might be able to swap this wheel cylinder in this line quick. Otherwise, I was getting ready to bleed the brakes. I got all the wheels off. Hello, cat. You interested in this van? Don't jump up there. No. No. Bad. What? No. No, I don't want you in that car. No. I sucked up all the mice with the vacuum. There's none left for you. Anyway, yeah, I think I've lost brake line number 10. Or I'm about to is what it looked like. So I'm going to beat this drum off. I'm going to look at this wheel cylinder. Look at getting it swapped out quick. If I got one, hopefully. I think I do. I really think I do. So we'll see. Well, there's the new wheel cylinder. And there's brake line number 10. I've never really had a use for this. I found it in a box of miscellaneous brand new brake hardware at the junkyard. I've never had a use for it. And now I do. It was just the bore was just, this was just a tiny bit shorter, but the total length seemed okay, and it bolts right up. So, and I know it's a Chrysler. I think it was in a second gen, so I think that'll work. We'll at least got a bleeder on it now that we can get off, and we'll get these brakes bled up finally. Brakes bled up finally. Okay, I got all the brakes bled, and I went left rear, right front, right rear, left front. I believe that is what these specify with the ABS. I believe it's different than, you normally go right rear, or right rear, left front, left front. That's what I usually do, and I've never had problems, but I guess I tried something different. Do we have a pedal, please? Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. And that ABS might need to be bled one more time. It might need to be bled after hitting the ABS, because it's got ABS, and that's been run probably dry, but we've got a pedal, and it's solid. Only replaced 10 of 12 brake lines. I also noticed while we did take it for that quick ride, that rotor is resurfacing itself. So, we're doing real fine right there. They feel good. Brand new rotors, brand new pads. I think we'll be all right. They'll clean up. Yeah, look at it. These are going to clean up fine. This rotor on the inside is pretty actually bad, but the pad's new. Somebody pad slapped that. It's thinner, so I wonder if something was sticking at some point. Hopefully they corrected it. Maybe they didn't. But this inner pad was definitely wearing more. This rotor's junk. Long term. The other rotor's fine. They'll be okay for now. They're going to stop the vehicle. Yeah, see how evenly wore this is? There was something wrong with that caliper at some point. Or something. There was something wrong over there. Drum's supposed to spin. Oh, and I know why this didn't spin before. So there's a little groove for the backing plate that was full of rust. Because now when you tighten this wheel all the way down, it spins. I think rolling it around on the way home, getting on the trailer kind of cleaned it up. So that's all good. That spins. Is this one free and spinning? This brake's a little tighter right now, but I had it apart. So I think that's okay too. I think we're all good. I'm gonna get the tires on it, get it on the ground. We'll make sure the brakes work. I was gonna pressure wash it today, but it's also gotten too cold now. So what I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna clean the windows, clean the lights, make sure they all work. I'd like to drive this into town and get some good gas in it, because look at all the moisture coming out of that. I'm assuming that's moisture out of that old gas. We're hoping so anyway. But I'd like to get into town, but I need to at least clean the windows and the lights and make sure they all work. Let's get it on the ground first. Let's make sure the brakes work, and we'll move from there. Long time coming, but I think we're getting there. Finally, you poor old thing. Do need to address that power steering. I gotta top it off with some more stop leak here. So I'm gonna shut it off, top it off, and then when we drive in, we'll get that stop leak really circulating in the system. Hopefully that helps for now, but it needs a new pump. I gotta get one on order. Runs pretty good though. Runs really good. Well, there, all the windows and lights are clean. That's kind of unique looking. It's like bad, but it's legal, you know. It is. She's rough looking, but hey, look at that. Simple weekend of work, and this thing technically is ready for the road. She's licensed, she's insured, windows are clean, tires got air, the brakes work, the mirrors work. The only thing we gotta check is if lights work. And I remember playing with this switch the other day, and I can't remember if I could get the lights to come on. The switch is finicky, see it? I get the marker lights to come on. It's sticky. Come on, headlights. Oh, see that? Had them for a second. Get them on and don't turn them off. Come on. I know you're in there. Oh, see it? Come on. They're just cleaning all the stuff off the switch, going back and forth. Come on. I know you're there. Oh, we're reliably getting the markers to come on. There we go. We got them. All right, what's she got for lights? Uh-oh. Might have to go switch a bulb quick. But we got one. We got one headlight. All right, what do we got for taillights? Got two taillights, all four taillights actually, because there's two bulbs in each one. I guess we'll see what we got for high beams. Got both high beams? Nice. All right, I'll just have to go replace that bulb real quick. I should have one. Humble blinkers, left. Okay, I got front, I got rear, right. Got front, we must have rear. You wanna check brake lights? All right, brakes. Nice, we got everything. Over, this guy isn't working very good. All right, we got lights. I just gotta go replace the headlight bulb quick.
No license plate light.
Oh, really? Oh no. That's how you get pulled over right there. Shoot. That's annoying. I'll see if I got a bulb for those. Otherwise, I gotta go find a headlight bulb quick. So that says December 29th of 1997. That is probably the original headlight bulb from this van. So I will go ahead and find, I got a replacement on the shelf. I gotta get a Phillips and unscrew the license plate light. All right, we got a license plate light and all of the rear lights. I robbed this off of the visor from the 91. I used my last one I had in stock, so I had to rob one. We got it. I don't need a reason to get pulled over. I mean, it's all legit. It's all, you know, insured and everything, but I didn't need a reason. So I also got this headlight bulb. I must have pulled this from something because it is only 2 years newer than the one I pulled out, November 2nd of 99, but both filaments are good, so we'll throw that in there quick. So I didn't catch that, but here's the original bulb. This is a 9007, and the bulbs I grabbed up here, these are 9004s. While they plug in and they work, the slots are different, so they don't fit. So I have this set of headlights up here. I'm in my parts stash here. That's got these AU Light 9007s in it right here. If this one looks funny, I'm going to grab the other one and put them both in, but this will work. Dang it. Okay, I got all cleaned up, had something to eat quick. I topped off the power steering fluid. We've got both headlights. We got tail lights. We got license plate lights. We got blinkers. The only thing I didn't check is reverse lights. You want to check that? Just for the heck of it, right? Actually, it doesn't smell too bad in here. Good? Oh, looks like we're missing one. So which one did you say was out?
Passenger side.
Nice. All right, turn the heat down here. You can see out all the windows. I gotta adjust. See if you think the mirrors will adjust. Yeah. Look at that. How about that one? See, I taped that mirror up and it works too. Look at that. All right, let's see if we'll make it. We got brakes, I think. You can hear the drums. But yes, we do got good brakes. Oh, I knew that was there too. I knew that. I knew we should have moved that. I forgot. How bad of damage did I do? I think we hit the tire, to be fair. Yeah, she's fine. We're good. I think I hit the tire. I knew that was there too, and I forgot. Whoops. Check your surroundings. All right, here we go.
It's off in the truck.
Yeah. Brake check. Yeah, and they work and they release. All right, here we go. 114, 34 miles. I-beams work pretty good. Look at that. Drives pretty good. Steering wheel straight. Yeah, it's got all the gears. It shifts pretty good too. High beams are definitely low. That's okay. All the lights in the cluster seem to work. Clusters actually, needles are actually pretty orange, which is nice. This thing actually drives pretty nice. Suspension feels good. I know we don't have any sway bar links, so we don't have that, but that's okay. Seems to get up and go just fine. Why it did that, but I shut the vehicle off and turned it back on. The radio's fine now. I don't know. I'm not going to ask questions. It's a Chrysler radio. I'm not surprised. I just know this thing's driving really, really nice. Oh, we rolled 114.35. Is it upshift or downshift? Yeah, it does. Look at that. She moves. Well, she made it into town. Let's see how warm the brakes are. Oh, they're not even warm at all. I don't feel any heat. Lights all still seem to work. I noticed the eyelid for the upper consoles, some of the bulbs aren't working, like the blinkers, but the blinkers are working. These brakes, I can hear these ones grinding the rust off, but they're cold. And also can feel a flat spot in the tires. But everything seems to be working. Pretty dilapidated looking, isn't she? But yeah, there's no heat in the brakes. The brakes work fine. And they're releasing everything. That's crazy. Look at that thing. Alright, we're going to get her filled up with some fuel. Some fresh stuff. Alright, she's got a full tank of 91. No, I don't want a receipt. And it cost me $54.79, 15.5 gallons. So it had a couple gallons in it, which we knew. Anyway, I'm thinking she's going like that. We showing a full tank? Guess we are showing a full tank. Look at that. 11439, full tank of fuel, looking good. Let's get her home. It didn't even make it out. ABS light just came on, so that's good. I'm sure the sensors are great. Alright, well, we just drove it out of town up the hill here, but I'll give you guys a taste of on the tar. It's got a really bad tire shake. These tires are flat spotted, they're old. I got some tires we're going to pick up tomorrow from storage. We're going to get them put on. I think you'll like them. I've been saving them for a rainy day, so they should work out. But this thing gets up and moves. I'll tell you, this thing works. This van runs great. It runs amazing. But yeah, you can feel that. You guys can probably hear it, but I can definitely feel it. Oh, it went away at 55. So it'll do road speed. Nice. Definitely some bad tires. Don't want to drive on them too much longer. But this van's driving down the highway for the first time in at least 8 years. So I think we did pretty good for a weekend's worth of work. Heck, we drove it off the trailer today. Alright, we're going to get it home for the night. I'm going to park it. Like I said, I'll get some set of wheels. But that might be next episode. So I think this will do it. We do know that this 2000 Chrysler Grand Voyager SC will run and drive again after 8 years. So there's plenty more work to do on this. You'll definitely see it around. Like always, I don't have a name for it yet, so I got suggestions, or I'm taking suggestions, I should say. So I'll see you guys next time. All right, we made it home, no issue. That was the first 10 miles this van has had in over 8 years, so we're doing all right. I'll see you guys next episode.